PG&E has a new CEO, and she knows that she has a lot of work ahead. Customers are expecting her to prevent the company's equipment from starting wildfires and also to keep the lights on.
This week I had an exclusive interview with Patti Poppe. This is her first in this role with any news organization. Last night we showed you her background and her goals for the company. Tonight we're focusing on wildfire prevention because she is taking the reins of a company that's caused a series of disasters.
Hi, I'm Patti.
Nice to meet you. My name is Elijah.
Hello, Elijah.
As the new CEO of PG&E, Patti Poppe steps into the job. She knows her success may very well depend on what these crews are doing right now. This PG&E contractor is taking out gray pines near power lines in the town of El Dorado, an area zoned as extreme risk for fire danger.
What do you think so far as you're watching the operation out here?
I love the commitment to safety and teamwork that I'm seeing.
People are understandably apprehensive in towns like this. PG&E equipment has started around 2,000 fires in the last 5 years, a few causing catastrophic loss of life and property. Do you feel like you understand the depth of the anger in this region against this company?
I'm learning. I'm getting doses, of it. I can understand it. I can appreciate it. It shouldn't, people shouldn't fear the power that brings them life. And so it's on us to reestablish that trustworthiness.
Here's an example of that work in action. The utility is required to keep tree branches 4 feet from power lines in the highest fire risk areas like this. But they're taking it a step further, leaving no branches hanging over the lines.
This is amazing.
Overall, PG&E maintains 125,000 miles of power lines, a distance that would take you halfway to the moon. About a third of those lines are in areas like this with a high fire threat. PG&E is required to provide service to any development in its coverage area. But Poppe says it may not make sense anymore to run power lines to all remote customers.
I think it's time to rethink that. And we need to do more with maybe not wireless power, but a lot less wires. Whether that's a localized microgrid like we're doing in Mariposa County, or undergrounding more. People say undergrounding's too expensive. I say, I'll tell you what's expensive. Wildfire's expensive.
We are stepping into wildfire season with this state in a drought. Does that scare you?
It certainly makes me think all the time. I woke up in the middle of the night last night thinking about inspections. That's a true story. Our business and our work is hazardous, there's no doubt. But when we follow our practices, when we do what we say we're going to do, when we follow our standards, we can keep people safe. And so it motivates me. It's on my mind all the time.
Right now, the utility is rebuilding much of its system, putting up stronger power poles and new, more resilient power lines, and adding inspections and surveillance from more angles.
So we're putting the best of the science, the actual equipment on the system, whether it's the cameras, the drones, the LiDAR that reads where all of our trees are, and we can combine all of that data and run the analysis real time, in the moment, and understand where we need to protect people and make that tough decision to shut off the power, and how to effectively communicate with them.
Poppe has master's degrees in both structural engineering and management. Her experience includes 15 years as an automotive manager at General Motors, and then 15 years at a Michigan utility, working her way up to CEO. But some issues are unique to running one of the nation's largest energy companies. And what do you say to those who believe that PG&E is really just too big and maybe should be gas and electric separately, or maybe should be state-run?
You know, I believe that an integrated, regulated utility can be a tremendous force for good and drive California's prosperity when run well. So we are regionalizing because we want the best of both worlds. We can be a big force as a big company. However, we need to show up at our customers' front lawn as their hometown team.
For PG&E, there is only one way to rebuild trust. and that's to deliver reliable power while keeping people safe.
What is required is what I'm prepared to do and have been preparing all my life to do, and I feel compelled by the cause and to really make it right. Not just serve my time or do my best or help. I'm here to fix it.
Tomorrow night we'll have more of my interview. Next time we're focusing on what she's doing to keep the lights on. And if you're interested in more of Patti Poppe's background and missed the story that we aired last night, that is now posted on KCRA.com.